This series is elite.
The best in the world.
Intense.
Fierce and competitive.
You wanted the best, you got him for a breast.
25,000 on the line, everything changes.
Often imitated, never duplicated.
Some of the best competitors of iRacing.
Can't wait to go out there and put on a show.
The greatest show on dirt. The World of Outlaws.
Seven days ago, we were at one of the smallest and tightest tracks on the entire schedule, but tonight we go to one of the biggest and fastest. The fourth round of the 2019 World of Outlaws NOS Energy Drink Sprint Car Series starts here at Eldora. Do not go away, as before we bring you some racing action, let's take a peek at some of the highlights from last week's race in the eNASCAR Peak Antifreeze iRacing Series race at Richmond. Do not go away.
Underway for round number 5. Cody Lyons going to find his way into the inside line into second in front of Sherburne, and to the outside looks like Casey Kerwin already to the outside. Here comes the number 99 car to the inside in turn 3, and a challenge for the point as Logan Clampett going to put his machine up there.
What I've learned at Richmond is if you're really, really good when the sun's out, you better start making adjustments, because when the sun sets, the track only gets very, very tight in the middle. I think
here this time, your top two are both coming down onto pit road here at the end of 134, and Logan Clampett going to follow him down. How many cars that dove down to the pit lane? There was a ton of them in for service. And we're 3 wide on track with a mix of lapped cars and lead lap cars. Ray Alfaro was the one who was squeezed to the right. He's still 3 wide out. This time the 27 is way up on the outside. So got so many different cars battling different drivers on different tires, different strategy. It's kind of hard to focus on everything that's going on around you. And now a caution flag at lap 141 to completely change this race. Diaz funny, but a battle for the race lead all the way up front. Here comes a charge to the inside line as it is Luza trying to hold off the 62 car, who's got a great spot on the outside, and he slides up in front. Ryan Luza atop of Leahy. Caution flag at 6 laps to go. We will have a restart to determine the win at Richmond. So if the lights go out this time by Tim, it means it'll be a 1-lap shootout to decide it. Green flag in the air. It's the final lap from Richmond. They're going to race it out. They get to turn 1. Ryan Luza with a great restart. Going to lead atop of battle for second. That's a big wreck behind it. Garrett Lowe's down into the inside wall. We'll race this thing out. And Ryan Luza going to go back-to-back race win number 3 on 2019. Assist to the front bumper, and he hits him again now. Ray Alfaro into the outside wall.
He's going to pass nearly 3 cars down that front straightaway, and he's going to get them all done with. What amazing
race lead to the inside goes Logan Clampett is going to touch in. Pit press sideways. What a save!
Look to the outside as Cronkite goes off. De Jong into second place.
Going for the switchback. Oh, pinpoint driving.
It's howling down to the inside.
I tried this contact though.
slide left of the racetrack. Chris Venner drives it back down underneath, and he takes that second spot right back. Joker goes to Garrett Lowe.
Garrett Lowe should take victory with all that contact.
He's going to try and make the move around the outside the parabolica. That's not going to work, but he's going to try and get the cut back here. Get the run out the parabolica. That's beautifully done there. Michael Schumacher, there's a little bit of door banging as well.
time trials currently for the World of Outlaws NOS Energy Drinks Car Championship Series makes its 4th championship stop here tonight at the super fast high bank half mile oval. Randy Tennant and Chase Rodman bringing you all the action tonight with Hugo Louise working the cameras and Chase. It really is a tale of two extremes, isn't it? We go from the tightest track on the schedule, I would argue, to the biggest and fastest here at Eldora.
Big change compared to last week at Limeland. You know, there are other small track on the schedule is Kokomo Speedway, but I think you're right when you say Limeland is definitely the smallest track we go to. So these guys are going to have to make big adjustments here. I'm sure they put in a lot of laps, put in a lot of practice here for the big race here at Eldora Speedway tonight. Round number 4, James Edens comes in tonight 27 points behind Alex Bergeron in the chase for the championship. And there's about 4 guys right now, Randy, that are really right there in the thick of things as far as the championship's concerned.
4 drivers have separated themselves: Alex Bergeron, James Edens, David Heileman, and Joel Berkeley. As you take a look at that graphic right there, and really it's just been the difference for David and Joel is really that one race win that James Edens was able to pull off at Knoxville, Chase. That's really been the big difference. And Joel, they've been equally as competitive. They just haven't been able to put it all together. Joel, I think, had his best chance to win of the season yet last week at Limeland and just wasn't able to put it all together. And David, it seems like every single week is always racing in the top 3, top 4. He reminds me of Brad Sweet during the World of Outlaws California Swing this year, and the consistency of that number 49 car and getting up into the top 5.
Yeah, we were joking around last week, I think. We were asking if they were sharing set as Brad Sweet and David Heileman there, because David's been running so well these first couple of weeks here. He's around the podium a couple times and in the top 5 for a majority of the races so far this year. And right now finds himself 37 points out of the championship standings. So we're looking at the times for qualifying right now. Looks like Blade Witt at the top of the speed charts so far with Nick Cooper and Anthony Lepresto, the top 3. Still a couple of big namers haven't turned a lap yet here, Randy.
It's actually basically half grid who has yet to put a lap in just yet. Still 90 seconds on the clock for these drivers to have their 2 attempts at qualifying. Dylan Hauser currently out on the racetrack. I think we're going to see the likes of Bergeron and Tim Ryan, David Heileman get out there in just a moment. Matter of fact, Matthew McKee is also on the racetrack right now. But a lot of these guys really putting it to the last second. But Blade Witt currently quickest, 0.04 of a second quicker than James Edens, as you see him dance. And his beautiful face now, a new addition to the graphics. He's out there on a hot lap.
He's one of the better looking guys in the field, I'd have to say there, Randy. Old Cam Dance out of Australia, turning his laps here in qualifying. And right now, Randy, James Edens second on the qualifying speed charts right now. That's big right there, because it seems like Alex Bergeron every single week, that seems to be the place that he beats James Edens and is gaining points on him is in qualifying, because the top 6 guys in qualifying are the only ones that gets points added to their championship total. So we'll see if Bergeron, he has not turned a lap yet. Actually, has he? I can't tell.
He just did. He just went.
Wow.
Oh,
wow.
He just went. Oh, so that was well timed there from Alex. Tim Ryan, he did not go very quickly on his first hot lap. That's a 14.432. Bergeron, can he improve his second trip around? Answer is going to be no. David Heileman has yet to qualify. He's got 10 seconds to get to the line. He'll only have this single lap in that number 49 Napa car. He comes across the stripe at a 1.90, but he will not Bergeron. And Bergeron once again puts in quick time.
Yeah, Tim Ryan nearly gets by him right there. Alex Bergeron with a 14.120. Tim Ryan a 14.122. So 2 1,000ths of a second separated your top 2 drivers in qualifying. And how about Blade Witt, somebody we haven't really talked about this season, ends up in the 3rd spot there.
Fantastic effort from Blade, and the qualifying up amongst the top handful of drivers, close in general. Really 0.07 of a second separates. I believe that's going to be about the drivers in about the top 10, separated by a 10th between Alex Bergeron and Joel Berkeley in that 9 car. Everyone in there: Alex Bergeron, Tim Ryan, Blade Witt, Adam Elby, Heileman, Hewitt, Edens, Cooper, Lepresto, and Berkeley. So a lot of competitive cars tonight as things are going to get started. Let's take a quick peek down, though, the starting grid for heat race number 1. It's going to be a couple of our championship contenders of Alex Bergeron and David Heileman, with Anthony Lepresto and Alex Smulders on that second row. Wayne Williams and Vinny Sansone will make up row 3, with Joe Lusk and Ryan Mayer on row number 4 and Robert Kerstetter on row number 5. I think the story coming out of qualifying, though, is that Tim Ryan, it looks like, should be pretty well set to actually not have to run through a B main for the first time.
Yeah, that's just incredible to me that he has been in every B main that we've had so far this year. The guy that won the championship last year has not had very good luck in qualifying or the heat races so far. Another guy I want to kind of take a look back real quick. Last year's winner here at Eldora Speedway, Adam Elby, qualifies 4th tonight, so he's looking to kind of maybe go 2 years in a row to win at Eldora here. So Elby's definitely one to watch for, and he's coming up in the 2nd or 3rd heat race, I believe.
Yeah, he's definitely going to be fun to watch, LB. He really has shown himself to be very competitive, but I'm really interested in this first heat race as well, especially on this front row. 2 of our championship contenders in Alex Bergeron and David Heilemann. Like you said, one of the ways Alex is really beating these guys is the good qualifying results he's getting. He's also been incredibly consistent in his heat races, consistently winning those. I think he had a 2nd at Knoxville, if I recall correctly. So constantly in the top 2 there, and they're all our points up for grabs in the heat races. And that's one of the reasons Bergeron, in addition to winning 2 of the 3 races we've had for the main event, has the championship lead he has now.
Yeah, qualifying and the heat races will all give you a little bit extra points, and then obviously the main event will give you the most points. So Bergeron has been very consistent in qualifying, the heat race, and the feature, and that's what it takes to win these championships, obviously. You got to have some good consistency. It's what James Edens has had a little bit of, but not as much as Bergeron. Obviously with 2 podium finishes, a win, Edens has been very good, but Bergeron in all 3 races so far this year has been on the podium. As the pace truck pulls off, we're about to go green for the first heat race here at Eldora.
We are green for heat race number 1, and Heilemann does not get a great jump, but a hold on to 2nd. Field spreads out to 3 different lanes of racing, bottom, middle, and top. Bergeron is up against the inside wall. Heilemann sort of running a groove up, as well as Lepresto. First car we have running up near the cushion is going to be Alex Smolders, but it's even not up, but really against the cushion. It's kind of the middle to kind of 3/4 way up the banking at the moment Chase the cars are running.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll see that change here throughout the course of the heat races like we saw last week at Limeland. The track will change from the 1st to the 4th heat race. These guys will be running all over the racetrack here coming up, but everybody right now around the inside wall. The first car to work the outsides at 211. Here he comes down to the inside. Alex Smolders now puts a great move on Anthony Lepresto trying to take over the 3rd spot. Lepresto holds him off, though, on the outside.
Smolders trying to make that stick, but can't quite get it. You also see Wayne Williams throwing his hat in the ring. Here comes Vinny Sansone. Iron Man going to throw it up around the top. The 4, maybe slight contact with the 211, but watch that orange and blue car working that higher line here at Eldora. We know classically the wall is where you want to be here at Eldora. It's very famous for seeing cars just be blisteringly quick around the top. Leaders were up around the wall through 1 and 2. That last trip around the racetrack as Heilemann is reeling in Alex, and he's going to try a slider in through 1 and 2.
He's got him clear. Bergeron turns it back to the inside. A great battle going on for the lead. I like to see what David Heilemann's doing here. He's not going to settle for 2nd. He wants to get the win. He needs as many points as he can to catch up to the 12 in the point standings. Bergeron continues to work the bottom of the racetrack, but down to 49, trying to get the momentum built up. We're coming down to the white flag this time by.
Remember, top 4 transfer, and that transfer spot is heavily contested right now. But white flag, and we need to watch this race for the race lead. Bergeron put in a good last lap, was able to open that gap up. I don't think he's entirely comfortable along the bottom, but David, I don't think is going to be close enough. Through 3 and 4 for the final time, and Alex Bergeron will be able to hold on for another heat race victory this season. And Anthony Lepresto and Smolders, they will also hold on to the transfer spots as well.
And I'm pretty sure that's the first main event of the year for Anthony Lepresto. A great run for him right there, ending up in the 3rd spot. David Heilemann, man, what a challenge he put up there on Alex Bergeron. He was not going to settle for 2nd right there. He tried it all. Bergeron with the win. Heilemann 2nd. Lepresto, Smolders 4th. Those are your transfers. The rest of these guys, Vinny Sansone, Wayne Williams, Robert Kerstetter, Joe Lusk, and Ryan Mayer will head off to the B main event, but a good start to these heat races.
That entire field separated by 2.9 seconds when it was all said and done, and a bulk of that was actually the gap to the top 2. If you just take 3rd on back, the entire field separated by 1.7 seconds. So really tightly contested there. First heat race. Heat race number 2, starting grid coming at you. It's going to be Tim Ryan and Lewis Hewitt on that front row, with Joel Berkeley and Chase Gray on row number 2. Justin Thomas and Matt McKinney. Third row with Rusty Kruger and Cam Dance on row 4, and Jesse Dawkins will tag at the tail end of the field in this one. Berkeley, I think, needs to get somewhere up to at least 2nd to kind of equalize with the points with Bergeron and Heilemann.
Yeah, Berkeley's definitely got to get a good run here in this heat race if he wants to stay up in that points battle. But it's going to be tough, man. Tim Ryan, we mentioned earlier, this will be the farthest he started up in a heat race all season long. And this will be possibly the first time that he's able to transfer directly from the heat race to the A main. last year's champion. If you have just joined us, he has been in the B main every single week so far this year. And he's hoping to change his luck here coming into the Eldora Speedway tonight and maybe jump back up into the top 10 in points maybe by the end of the year.
And the other problem Tim's been having is that it seems like when he's in competitive fields, if he starts up front, it seems like he can hold himself out there, but he hasn't had the ability to run through the field, especially in that main event. So that might be a really good, let's see, foreboding situation for Tim Ryan, putting in a good qualifying effort, second quickest on the night, and being able to start at the head of this heat race. He should be able to hold on to this race lead, be able to hold on to it. You also have, of course, Chase Cabray in the 39, always a wild card, K&N driver, also been involved in the Tulsa shootout at the Chili Bowl as well. But the iRacing safety truck gonna come peel off onto the racing surface, and Tim Ryan, he's gonna pick it up. We're 3 abreast for second.
Yeah, Tim Ryan gets a good jump right there. Joel Berkeley already into the second spot. He slides in front of Lewis Hewitt up to the top of the racetrack. 3 wide for third. Look at the 23, Justin Thomas. He's made a couple of highlight reels so far this year in this 2019 World of Outlaws iRacing Sprint Car Championship. And right now, Thomas trying to make his way into the transfer spot.
Trying to make it happen best he can. You, of course, have Chase Cabray working that top side of the racetrack, trying to hold on to it as well. We see all, really, 3 lanes of racing starting to form up once again. Justin Thomas going to go to the top. Hewitt is going to throw a move on Tim Ryan, though. Quick lead change as one car is going to get half spun around. I believe that was the 39 of Cabray, but Tim Ryan back underneath Lewis Hewitt through 3 and 4. Fight for the race lead is on.
Yeah, Tim Ryan and Lewis Hewitt put on a good show for the fans here. Ryan's going to slide up in front, right across the nose of the 3 car. Hewitt turns it back to the inside. Will we see another slider down here into turns 3 and 4? We will. Lewis Hewitt back in front of Tim Ryan, and here comes the 9 car of Joel Berkeley closing in on your top 2.
Lewis Hewitt tags the wall entering turn 1. How much is that going to hurt him as Tim Ryan smacks the wall through 1 and 2. Tim Ryan is going to fall into that second spot, and that should comfortably give Hewitt that race lead. What's going to happen to Berkeley now as he's seen these TTL cars hit the wall last week as well? Hewitt off the wall down the front straightaway. So Tim Ryan, he's going to fall back to second.
Right behind those guys, a big slider for the final transfers. Cam Dance threw one at Justin Thomas. Thomas was able to get the putback on him. Now a battle for the second spot. Tim Ryan and the 9 car of Berkeley going at it once again. Ryan slides in front of the 9 car of Berkeley and takes that second spot right back.
Fight for second picks up in towards 3 and 4. White flag off of 4 this time. Berkeley has second. Tim runs the wall a little bit, gets it up off the cushion and gets the drive. They're going to be side by side in towards 1 and 2 for the final time. Berkeley turns it back down to the bottom, and he'll have a run in towards 3 and 4 for the white flag. Berkeley has the spot for now, but Tim's going to try to work the bottom grid. Hewitt will hold on to the race lead. Who's going to steal second? It's going to be Berkeley. Ryan will tag third, and Justin Thomas will race his way up into a transfer spot.
Man, what a drive by Justin Thomas. Once again, last year, I believe, I don't remember him making very many features in the World of Outlaws Sprint Car Series, but here I think he's made every single one of them. This will be the first time out of the heat race, but a good run for Justin Thomas, a dominating performance by Lewis Hewitt. Joel Berkeley comes home second, Tim Ryan, Thomas, then Matt McKinney, Cam Dance, Rusty Kruger, Chase Cabray, and Jesse Dacus head off to the B main. Man, 2 good heat races so far. A lot of sliders being thrown earlier on in the night here.
Yeah, that track looks kind of fun to be a part of, and the racing has been absolutely fantastic thus far. Heat race number 3, starting grid, getting themselves formed up right now. That's going to look like Blade Witt and James on that front row with Nelson Webster and Britton Roxbury in second, on the second row, excuse me. Austin Selman and Joe Quinn on road number 3 with Kenneth Dake Jr. and Bobby Sant Jr. on road number 4. And Ricky Sanders will make up this 9-car field. And you mentioned it towards the tail end of qualifying there, Chase. Fantastic effort in qualifying.
I'll tell you right now, Randy, whenever I play iRacing, I am a heck of a hot lap hero. I don't know if that's the same. James Eden on his outside at Knoxville earlier this year. So Blade Witt's definitely going to have his hands full with this heat race, trying to get this heat race victory.
David Hylam. He's going to want to make something of this, Chase.
Yeah, absolutely. This should be a pretty good heat race right here. I think James Edens is not going to want to settle for that second spot. We're going to see him going after the win here. Edens obviously came into the points second tonight, and Bergeron out-qualified him, so Edens needs to get all the points he can here to try and maintain with Alex Bergeron. A very slow start by Blade Witt right there. Is going to bunch the entire field up, and we go green.
Field stacked up as they run through 1 and 2. The 52 of Edens, he's going to try the middle. Can Blade Witt make something of this on that top groove? Not quite. And Blade Witt's going to hold on to the race lead. Nelson Webster, though, he's going to work the bottom, trying to hold on to third as Roxbury's got it up against the wall, and he's got that third spot wrestled away.
Yeah, Roxbury, the 421 car's got that third spot. Now coming after James Edens for second. He's 1 car length, he's a half car length. Gets into the wall on the back straightaway. Now dives down to the inside as the wall kind of shot him down the racetrack right there. Roxbury able to hang on to it in the third spot. Here comes Edens now trying to work a lane lower than your leader, Blade Witt. He closed in just a little bit of car length separate your top 2 now.
It's going to be a little bit more as Edens gets a little bit loose coming off turn 2. That's going to allow the 421 of Roxbury to be right there. Edens doesn't look comfortable, I think, running that top groove. The 421 will throw the slider into towards number 1, and down to the bottom goes James Edens holding off that move. But we got 4 cars fighting for that 4th spot right now as they go through 3 and 4.
Yeah, big slider from Austin Selman up across the nose of the 15 and Nelson Webster. Webster turns it back to the left to the inside of him. Webster's got the transfer. Also in the mix is Joe Quinn and the 131 of Bobby St. Jr. 2 by 2 back there. 4th through about the 7th spot.
3 cars fight for first, 4 cars fight for fourth as they work down the front straightaway, beginning lap number 6. Blade Witt a little bit tight through the center of turn 1, but keeps it turned nicely as I think it's going to be Austin Selman who wrestles the transfer spot away for now. Webster trying to keep pace as Bobby Sant Jr. and Joe Quinn starting to lose a little bit of ground on that fight for the top 4. However, Austin Selman is doing well to start reining in those top 3 cars. White flag this time.
On board with Blade Witt. Here comes the slider from the 52 and James Edens for the lead. They come down to the white flag. The 52's got it. Witt tries to turn it back to the inside, but here comes the 421 of Roxbury now. Witt slides him once again down off of turn number 2. Down the backstretch, 3 wide for the lead. Here they come into 3 and 4 the final time. The 421 on the bottom, the 52 to the top side. Off turn number 4, it's James Edens with the win. Wow, what a finish in that one right there. James Edens pulls it off, 2nd spot. Barely went to Blade Witt. 3rd was Roxbury, and I believe 4th was Austin Selman.
What a fantastic fight. You are right with that one. Austin Selman comes home in the 4th spot. Nelson Webster, Joe Quinn, Bobby Sant Jr., Kenneth Dake Jr., and Ricky Sanders, they will round out the cars they have to try to transfer to the main through the last chance qualifiers. But we're starting to notice a trend here, Chase. This 3rd heat race last week, we saw 3 cars fighting for the lead and came to the finish line nearly 3 abreast. And they just basically did the same thing here. I think we're starting to make a bit of a tradition that 3rd heat is really going to be the most exciting one to watch of the night.
And if I'm not mistaken, James Edens was in the thick of things last week in that 3rd heat race, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was. I believe he ended up being the 2nd place finisher in that one, if I recall correctly. But we have one more heat to bring you here tonight, so let's go down the starting grid for this one. It's going to be Adam Elby and Nick Cooper on that front row, with Dylan Hauser and Cole Cabre on row number 2. Logan Clampett and Braden Eiler will be on row 3, with Stephen Renaud and Cole Newhoffen rounding out this 8-car field. 44 Logan Clampett, I think, is going to be a car to watch tonight here, Chase, because he's been putting in decent results. He's always, he's either just barely making the main event or he's in the LCQ, just right on the cusp of transferring. We saw him get sent a little bit last week. I believe it was Adam Elby who got into him during the LCQ for the transfer position. But Logan's been very good and very consistent in these sprint cars thus far this season, and he's really, I think, been one of the stronger, more fun drivers to watch.
Yeah, he's definitely one of the fun drivers to watch. Obviously, he's a peak antifreeze driver. He's also a pro driver in the rallycross stuff, if I'm not mistaken. So Clampett, he's a driver that can run just about anything on iRacing.com and be pretty fast. So he impressed me big time in Volusia. The first race of the season came out of the B main and ended up in the top 10. So he just rolled him some bottom there. We'll see what he can do here tonight, starting 5th. So he's just got to get by one guy here in the next 8 laps, and he'll find himself in the main event.
And with the drama we've been seeing in these heats and the way the fighting's been going, it's not out of the realm of possibility that there could be a bit of, let's say, roughhousing amongst the cars out in front of him. iRacing Pace Truck, though, in just a couple of moments, will duck on towards pit road, and it'll be the 74 of Adam Elby in command of the field. Heat 3, they stacked him up to the very last second. Will Elby wait as long? No, he's going to get on it early as they come off of 4, and Hauser wants that 2nd spot, and he already has it away from his teammate as they turn into turn 1, as Cole Cabre is going to run the middle.
Yeah, they're 3 wide momentarily for the second spot. Here comes the 35 and Nick Cooper to the inside of Cabré for that third spot. Cooper comes tonight 5th in the point standings, just outside those top 4 drivers. He's a little bit farther back in the points, but Cooper's going to try and make up some big points here tonight, maybe throw his hat in the ring for the championship this year.
Definitely trying to make that happen, as Steven Renaud is sitting there lurking as well. Adam Elby fighting with Dylan Hauser. Slider for the lead. Elby drives it back down to the bottom. Doesn't quite get clear on the entry to 1, but he slides it up to the racetrack. Hauser, he finds the outside wall, so that'll give Elby the race lead, as Cole Cabré was trying to make something of that and take advantage of Hauser's mistake, but wasn't close enough. Cole hits the top, hooked up though. They're going to be wheel to wheel in towards turn number 1.
Oh, Hauser, that was a close call right there, but a good move by Cabré to go down to the inside and clear that 2 car. Now the 2 teammates now run 1-2. We'll see if they maybe use a little bit of teamwork here to hang on to those spots, as Elby right now, Randy, does not look too comfortable up on the top side of the racetrack. That car's bouncing all over the place. Here comes the 71 to the inside. Oh my, that's going to be close. Kevin Swindell's probably biting his fingernails right now.
Swindell Speed Lab 1 and 2, TTL 3 and 4, but Hauser trying to change that as he works the bottom, and no, can't get past either of them. They're so close together, you almost have to slide both of them at once. Little bit of a mistake by Cole coming off a 2, and he's going to try to defend low. In the background, the fight for 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, all those cars are under a blanket. Logan trying to wrestle his way into the transfer spot, but it's hard to take our eyes off this fight for the top 3.
Yeah, these guys are so close for those top 3 spots, just waiting for the move from Cole Cabré if he's going to make it. Oh, coming down to the white flag. Cabré's got the bullet loaded in the gun. When does he fire to the inside? He goes right here. Here comes the slider. The 71 of Cabré down to the inside. Elby reads him like a book. Turns him back to the inside, but Cabré tags the cushion just right there and gets a good run. Elby's going to fire one off in the final corner. Who's it going to be down to the start-finish line? It is, I couldn't even tell you, Randy.
Margin of victory for Adam Elby of .000 seconds.
Are you kidding me?
For heat race number 4. Easily the closest finish I think we've ever seen. Our graphic is wrong. The sim is less than .001. Closest finish I'm aware of is Dylan Hauser and Nick Cooper are very tight. And look at how close it was for the transfer spots as well. Cooper and Steven Renaud, they were only separated by 800ths.
My goodness, it literally was .00 on my iRacing service screen here. That was an incredible race there by Adam Elby and Cole Cabré, the 2 teammates. Dylan Hauser will end up 3rd, Nick Cooper 4th. Those 4 will go to the main event. Steven Renaud, Logan Clampett, Cole Newhoffen, and Braden Eiler will go off to the B mains, which will be coming up here shortly.
LCQ number 1, mentioning the B mains, is coming up right now. Of course, a bit of a reminder for the format for everyone. 4 heat races, top 4 transfer, and then we have 2 twin B mains. The top 2 of each transfer directly to the feature. It's not a C and then a B. It's technically 2 B mains. Let's go down the starting grid for this one. The 2 cars with the advantage for this, starting in those 2 transfer spots, is going to be Vinny Sansone and Nelson Webster. Wayne Williams and Joe Quinn will be on that 2nd row, with Robert Kerstetter and Bobby Sant Jr. on that 3rd row. Joe Lusk and Kenneth Dake Jr. on row number 4, with Ryan Mayer starting in the 9th spot. This is actually, I'm going to say, Chase, really the first week I can think of where, at least in these LCQs, just looking at the grids, I don't see anyone at the back of the field who's really going to have to throw a Hail Mary to make something happen. It's sort of, we don't have like a standout name like a Bergeron or a Tim Ryan starting in these beats.
Yeah, we've got a couple of guys, though, that, Vinny Sansone, Nelson Webster, Bobby Sant Jr., they've made some big-time highlight reels in these B mains these last couple of weeks that have gotten them some TV time on the various iRacing social media pages, and I'm expecting to see a little bit of that happening here as well. Bobby Sant coming from the 3rd row. He's got to get by at least 3 drivers, actually 4 drivers, to get in the transfer. Now 131, we know he's a tough competitor, and we know he's going to give him his best shot here, so I'm excited to see what the 131 can do here.
We saw Bobby fighting with Adam Elby and Logan Clampett in one of the LCQs last week, and it was a tightly contested LCQ as Elby came from the last spot to get himself up into that 2nd transfer position. Pace truck on towards pit road. Vinny Sansone gets on it. We are green for 12 laps here at Eldora, and a little bit of pushing and shoving from Wayne Williams on to Nelson Webster as they go through 1 and 2 for the first time, but Webster's going to hold on to that 2nd transfer spot for now, but Williams still runs the middle underneath them.
Yeah, Joe Quinn's right there, gives him a shot in the shorts. Wayne Williams gets a big shot in the shorts from the 90 car of Joe Quinn. Quinn down to the inside, runs the middle of the racetrack right there. It's not too fast right now. The top 3 drivers all up on the top of the racetrack. Now Nelson Webster at the inside. I thought he was looking for the slider, thought better of it, and backed out of it, but he's got to get going right now as Wayne Williams and Joe Quinn are all over him. Slider for the lead now in the B main.
Vinny Sansone going to drive it right back down to the bottom. 2x2 for your top 4 positions. Vinny will hold that race lead. Nelson in second. Joe Quinn trying to run the bottom on Wayne Williams. They're going to stay wheel to wheel as they cross the stripe, as they're nearly side by side for the lead as well. Webster slides Vinny in towards 1 and 2. Vinny gets it back down to the bottom. Contact for 3rd and 4th, as they're still 2x2, and you still have the likes of Kerstetter and Lusk lurking in the background in 5th and 6th.
Yeah, that was a close call there between Joe Quinn and the 4-car Wayne Williams. They keep swapping the lead. Here comes Williams on the outside, 3 wide for the lead now down the back straightaway. The 15 of Nelson Webster slides in front of both of them. Webster's got the spot. Now Williams splits the middle down the front straightaway. My goodness, what a dogfight in this one. 5 cars going at it.
We saw heat race number 3. We thought it was going to be the most exciting race of the night as Williams. A little bit of contact. He gets thrown into the outside wall. That might be the end of his night, but he seems to have speed, and he's going to immediately go to work on Lusk and Kerstetter. Joe Quinn on the inside of Vinny Sansone trying to make something of it, but can't quite do it as Webster, for the first time, gets a little bit of breathing room out in front. This might turn into a fight for second.
Yeah, it's definitely going to turn into a fight for second. Joe Quinn to the inside. They're dead even at the start-finish line. We've still got 4 laps to go. Quinn's a little bit sideways right there. He's going to lose some ground. Now he gains it back down the backstretch. He finds that moisture in the left rear tire. The 90 car continues to roll the bottom. The only driver we've really been able to see do that here in these B mains so far. Side by side for second. Looks like Quinn's got the advantage entering turn 1.
He's got the advantage down low, but the top groove is where the momentum is for Vinny Sansone, who just looks really calm up there, but one of the most consistent drivers running the top that we've seen at this phase of the race thus far. Joe Lusk still lurking back there as well. Quinn going to try to throw a slider, but he's not committing to it. And I think Quinn really needs to throw something a little bit more aggressive here, Chase, when we come to 2 to go. He needs to chop that nose off of Sansone.
Yeah, Quinn, if he's got any shot at it, he's got to throw it here in the next 2 laps. He continues to try and roll the middle of the racetrack. Here comes now the 27 of Robert Kerstetter. 4 cars right there with that 80 car of Vinny Sansone. Here comes Kerstetter. Oh, contact for the 3rd spot. Kerstetter gets into Joe Quinn. Lusk back to the inside. That might open the door up for Vinny Sansone to drive away with this one.
Let's see what it's going to do. White flag is ahead now in towards turn 3. Nelson Webster is clear and gone with it. Joe Lusk going to run the bottom of the racetrack. Can he make something of this? Vinny's going to run the top. Webster holds on for the win. Sansone tags the wall, but Lusk not close enough. Just a little bit less of a 1/10 of a second between those 2 drivers, as it's going to be Webster and Sansone who transfers their way into the show tonight, with Lusk, Quinn, Kerstetter, Dake, Mayer, and Williams rounding out the field there. Man, these guys are really going at it. This Eldora Speedway is putting on one heck of a show tonight, Chase.
Yeah, man, the bottom of the racetrack is a lot better than I thought it would have been. I talked to a couple of the drivers on the Swindell Speed Lab Esports team, and they sounded like there wasn't going to be much of a bottom tonight, but Joe Quinn running the bottom, running the middle right there, really kind of proving those guys wrong, as he was making up some ground down there. Just couldn't really, find the throttle control I think he was looking for right there to get by Vinny Sansone, but a great race nonetheless. B main number 2 now to get the final 2 transfers into the back of the A mains coming up here next.
Last 2 transfers coming up. Let's take a peek at the starting grid. Matt McKinney and Steven Renaud will start on that front row, with Cam Danson and Logan Clampett on row number 2. Rusty Kruger and Cole Newhoffen on row 3, with Chase Cabray and Braden Eiler on row 4, with Jesse Dawkins and Ricky Sanders rounding out the 10-car field. And the standout driver here, I think, Chase, is going to be, he's been nearly as consistent as Alex has been all season long, whereas Alex has basically been winning the races or finishing second. Rusty Kruger has been upside down every single week thus far. He's not been just yet. Do you think he's going to keep that streak alive?
Oh, I think he'll get upside down for sure. I can say that because, Rusty's a great friend of mine. He's been my camera guy on a couple of real-life broadcasts, so I could talk about the old Kruger like that. He's got the Fast4Media.com sticker on the side of that thing, as well as, Jake Swanson Shock Technology. He's only sponsored by a lot of his local friends in real life, so it's good to see the Kruger out here having a good time. We'll see what he can do here, man. Looking to make his first feature event, but he's got a couple of tough drivers right there in front of him. I think the Kruger can get the job done, though.
Yeah, McKinney, Renaud, Danson, Clampett, that's going to be a rough barbershop quartet, I think, to work his way around. But that's an aggressive group for sure, and there could be drama at the head of this field without question. Matt McKinney, though, he's going to be the one in command of this when the iRacing safety truck peels off of pit road, and let's see what's going to happen. Is he going to hold that field up, or is he going to get on it early? He's going to get on it early, as we are green for LCQ number 2, and Danson and Clampett will go side by side into 1. The 115 goes to the bottom of McKinney, though.
Yeah, here we go, 2 by 2, 3 rows deep. Oh, Rusty Kruger gets a wheel from one of the drivers. I'm not sure who that was. Looks like he's going to keep on going, I believe, but he falls to the rear of the field. Randy, I don't think we really talked about it. Chase Cabray came into the night up there in the point standings. He right now is running in the 7th spot, so the 39 car's got to get up on the wheel here.
One of the issues for Chase, he's had the pace, but he's not had the consistency. But you know that the driver, that number 39, is going to be aggressive as McKinney and Renaud duke it out for that first position as they're 2 by 2 by 2 by 2 through 1 and 2. That trip around the racetrack, you see Logan Clampett involved in that fight, as well as Cam Dance and Cole Newhoff. Big slider from Chase Cabrera. That was a little bit hopeful, I think, from Chase, as we nearly saw big contact there in the middle of 3 and 4.
Yeah, I was riding on board with him at the time. My mouth about fell down on the floor when I saw him try and throw that slider. Got into the side of Logan Clampett, but nobody crashed, so no harm, no foul. How about Cole Newhoff now? Drives around the outside of the 6-car Cameron Dance to the inside for second. Cole Newhoff is rolling right now.
Cole Newhoff definitely has a quick car here tonight. He's done well starting 6th in this LCQ to be fighting 3rd and trying to get up into that transfer position, but Cam Dance is not going to let it go easy. The 115 of Steven Renaud has all sorts of company off the rearview mirror, down the back straightaway and in towards 3 and 4. We're going to be halfway in this race this time. McKinney is slowly stretching the gap, but the 11 car looks like a man on a mission right now.
Yeah, it looks like the top of the racetrack right now is a little bit faster if you're able to keep the car straight. The 115 on the bottom is able to maintain pace if he's got the right throttle control. And right now, Steven Renaud, the unsponsored number 115, he's got it, but now the 11 car Newhoff into the outside, he's got the transfer spot.
Craig Kinzer racing number 11, trying to make that pass stick, and he's just about going to get it this time, though. The 115, will he throw the slider? Will Steven Renaud? No, it doesn't seem like it. That's going to be a big run from Cam Dance. A little bit of contact's going to end the 115's night for sure. That'll give Cole Newhoff a little bit of breathing room as Dance will hold on to that 3rd spot. The 44 Clampett gets caught up in some drama behind as well.
Yeah, I don't think Cam Dance is out of this one yet. He's all over him down the front straightaway. 2 laps to go for your leader. Matt McKinney's absolutely checked out with this one, but the battle is for second. Cam Dance, look for the slider down to 3 and 4 right here. He comes up across the nose. What does the 11 car do? He turns it down to the inside. Nearly contact off turn 4 as they come down to 1 lap to go next time by.
Cam tried to shut that move off, but just wasn't quite able to do it. White flag this next time through. They head through 3 and 4. Cole Newhoff has a little bit of breathing room. Big slider from Braden Eiler on Chase Cabrera. The white flag's going to fly here. 1 more lap in LCQ number 2. Matt McKinney out by about nearly a second ahead of the rest of the field. Through 3 and 4 for the final time, and Cole Newhoff has opened up a bit of a gap. He goes to the bottom to be defensive. McKinney will take the win in this LCQ, and Newhoff will race his way up into a transfer spot.
Yeah, that was a perfect move right there in that final corner by the 11 car and Cole Newhoff. He had to know that Cam Dance was getting desperate. He was going to throw him an absolute big bomber down in the final corner, but he blocked the line and was able to hang on to that transfer spot in the Craig Kinzer Racing Mesilla Valley Transportation number 11. Matt McKinney with the win, though. And the rest of those drivers on your screen: Cam Dance, Braden Eiler, Chase Cabrera, Logan Clampett, Rusty Kruger, Jesse Dacus, Steve Renaud, and Ricky Sanders will have to try again next week.
An unfortunate run for those guys for sure, but we have 20 of the best winged sprint car drivers on the iRacing service coming at you in just a couple of moments. We'll have the feature event tonight for the 2019 World of Outlaws NOS Energy Drink Sprint Car Championship Series. Do not go away. We'll be live for that main event in just a couple of moments. A very racy Eldora Speedway is what we have on hand here tonight, and we've seen that pretty much shown through the heat racing and the LCQs. But man, this 30-lap main event is going to be something else to watch here for the 4th race of the World of Outlaws NOS Energy Drink Sprint Car Championship Series. And, you know, we were talking about it, Chase. The track prep has been absolutely phenomenal this entire season. All 4 races we've seen have had very, very racy racetracks. And I think Tony Stewart would be more than happy with the way this one's turned out thus far.
Yeah, I think Smokes might have made a couple of extra laps on the tractor here this week, getting prepared for this iRacing World of Outlaws Sprint Car Championship race here at Eldora Speedway. And man, it seems like you can run the top, you can be very fast up there, but you got to be super smooth on the wheel. You can't make any mistakes for it to work. But if you're a guy like maybe Justin Thomas or a guy like James Edens that can really roll a bottom and have some throttle control, throw the wing in the trunk, you might be able to make it work through the middle or the bottom of the racetrack here. This Eldora Speedway has been prepped to perfection so far. We'll see if it holds up here for the main event.
30 seconds left of the warm-up. Be sure, by the way, we saw the graphic for just a moment, but if you enjoy what you're watching, be sure to subscribe to the iRacing Esports Network. Of course, 6 World Championships coming at you over the course of this year. We just started the Porsche Esports Super Cup this past weekend. Saw Josh Rogers take victory there. Of course, the eNASCAR Peak Antifreeze iRacing Series, as well as the Twin World of Outlaws Series on top of Rallycross. And man, it's been, and the VRS GT Endurance Championship as well. Tons of great racing action, as well as all sorts of private leagues and public stuff. Basically constant broadcasting on the iRacing Esports Network. But with that, the warm-up is going to come down to an end, and let's go down the starting grid for your 30-lap main event here tonight at the Eldora Speedway. It's going to be Alex Bergeron, the most dominant driver thus far this season, on the pole position tonight, with Lewis Hewitt starting on his outside of that front row. James Edens and Adam Elby, the two teammates, will make up row number 2, with David Heileman and Joel Berkeley on row number 3. Blade Witt and Cole Cabre, they roll off of that 4th row, with Anthony Lopresto and Tim Ryan will have his best main event starting spot of the season with 10th thus far. Britton Roxbury and Dylan Hauser will roll off on row number 6, with Alex Smulders and Justin Thomas on row 7. Austin Tillman and Nick Cooper on row number 8, with Nelson Webster and Matt McKinney on row number 9, and Vinny Sansone and Cole Newhoffen on row number 10. Predictions for this one, Chase? The racing we've just seen up to now, I don't know how you could predict anything, but give it your best shot.
Well, I think it's going to be really good, obviously. We've got our top 4 drivers in the point standings that we talked about earlier. They all start within the first 3 rows. David Heileman, Joel Berkeley, Alex Bergeron, and James Edens. We've got last year's winner at Eldora, Adam Elby, up there in the second row. And how about Lewis Hewitt? We haven't really talked about him all year long so far. Starts on the outside of the front row. That 3 car was looking very good. Pretty sporty earlier on in the heat race. So I think right now there can't be one guy that you can point out and say he's got the best car. So I'm also excited to see how Tim Ryan can come. He's got his best start of the year right now, coming from 11th. So Tim Ryan might be able to make his way into the top 5 by the end of the segment.
It'll be interesting to watch for sure what Tim Ryan can do now that he's not going to have to start from the tail end of one of these races. Because keep in mind, like we said, with him coming out of the B's, the best he could have ever started before this was 17th, and he rolls off inside of that top 10 now. Drivers get the 1 lap to go signal as they work through 1 and 2, and it's a very familiar sight for these main events, that black and yellow Alex Bergeron racing car, driven by, of course, Alex Bergeron at the head of the field. He will be in command here. We've seen that upper groove be quick and the race leaders jump out early and go up to that top side. How quick is the bottom, though? And can Lewis Hewitt or maybe even James Edens make something of this? iRacing safety truck pulls down onto pit road. Alex holds them for just a second, but we are green for 30 laps at Eldora.
Here we go. We'll see what happens. James Edens already going to work on Bergeron to the inside. How about David Heileman rolls the bottom in 1 and 2 right there. 3 wide for the 3rd spot already down the back straightaway. Heileman with a big move down to 3 and 4. Thought better of it. Almost slid into that 2nd spot, but gives up a spot to Adam Elby, who's absolutely ripping the top of the racetrack right now.
Bottom line doesn't seem to hold much momentum at the moment, but you seem to have good mid-corner speed as Heileman is going to fall back. Hewitt settles into 2nd, Elby into 3rd. Big move from Heileman, trying to take that 4th spot away, but just can't quite get it done. Joel Berkeley's going to try to get out in front of Heileman, but Heileman shuts the door up top.
Yeah, good race so far right now. Everybody looks like they've migrated up to the top of the racetrack. Got to go pretty far back in the field to see anything going on down the bottom. Heileman with the slider on James Edens. Edens turns it back to the inside. That's something we're going to be seeing a lot here over the course of these next 30 laps. A lot of sliders to get by these guys at the bottom of the racetrack. Might have gone away now. Your leader is still Alex Bergeron. 2nd spot is Lewis Hewitt. 3rd is Adam Elby as they come around on complete lap number 5.
49 and the 9 are good doing trading sliders right now. That's Joel Berkeley and David Heileman, 2 of our championship contenders. And look at the gaggle of cars in the mid-pack and Justin Thomas. He finds the wall through 1 and 2. That's going to be the first caution of the night. And I was just getting ready to say that the gaggle of cars in the mid-pack, the racing was absolutely insane. Had seen 3 and 4 wide a couple of times, but Justin Thomas just sticks that fat right rear tire up against the outside wall, and turns out there's not much traction up there on the wall.
Yeah, luckily for him, he was mid-pack there, and nobody really got into him as he got sideways right there. So the 23 car should be able to continue on with no damage. Should be a quick caution here, and we will get back going. But something I want to point out there, Randy, some big points up for grabs here tonight as their 6th place driver in the points coming in tonight. Chase Cabre does not make tonight's main event. So there's a couple of guys licking their chops right now, maybe going to gain a couple of spots in the point standings here.
Yeah, I mean, that's really going to be the big disaster as far as the points. As we look at some of the early movers, Nick Cooper, great start of the race for him. Up 3 spots from 16th to get himself into the 13th place. Anthony Lepresto having a very good night as racing as well. And I think the best night he's had for sure. He's up to 7th already.
Yeah, Lepresto has not made a main event so far this year, I don't think. But yeah, Lewis Hewitt right now in that 2nd spot. It seemed like he really couldn't maintain pace with Alex Bergeron over the course of that first run. So I think Adam Elby might be the next best car behind Bergeron. So we'll see if Elby tries to make quick work of Lewis Hewitt to maybe try and track down Alex Bergeron for the lead here.
Lights go out on the iRacing safety trucks, who will be going back to green flag racing on lap number 9 of 30. Single file restarts, as we've seen in this series, that's going to change things up as well, because you're not going to be forced offline. If you want to run the bottom, you can go down there if you want to. If you want to run the top, you can go up there if you want to. So that should help Lewis Hewitt keep pace with the 12 car of Alex Bergeron. Let's see how it works out, though, as he has aggressive drivers of LB, Edens, and Heilemann and Berkeley all lined up. Bergeron gets on it. We are back to green.
And a good start for Adam Elby right there. Maintains pace with that 3 car Lewis Hewitt. We'll see what happens here as they go down to the 3 and 4. David Heilemann takes a peek to the inside of James Edens. Edens back around him on the outside. He's going to try and bring the 9 car of Joel Berkeley along with him. Heilemann with the big slider up into the 4th spot. Edens right back to the inside and takes that 4th spot right back. The 52 and the 49 have been going at it all race long so far.
Trading sliders is what they do. Joe Berkeley tries to get involved there, but can't quite get clear. Also bumping and banging from behind. I see Lepresto, Cabre, Ryan, and Roxbury all involved with that fight, as I see Dylan Hauser as well. He's going to be on the bottom side of the racetrack. Tim Ryan able to just get clear. They're 3 wide behind him.
Yeah, right now your leader, Alex Bergeron, turning the fastest laps of the race, but not far behind him on the speed charts is the 74 of Adam Elby. They continue to duke it out there from about 12th on back. You see, looks like Anthony Lepresto, like you talked about, and a couple other drivers really getting after it back there. A couple of Swindell Speed Lab cars as well. Oh, contact right there. Tim Ryan's involved. I'm not sure, and that might bring out the yellow, and it does.
Yeah, so yellow here out here on the racetrack is Tim Ryan. Gets a little bit of contact and ends up going around, as you see on your race spot replay. And, well, we talked about him having a good night of racing thus far, Chase, and that pretty much kills it right there. He just got a little bit loose up top, and it was sort of just him and Dylan Hauser coming together. Dylan tried to throw a slider on, I think it was Cole Cabre, and Tim Ryan just couldn't hold the top and kind of came down to the middle of the racetrack, and they really just met in the same place.
Yeah, like you said, it looked like Hauser was throwing a slider and Tim Ryan was just trying to turn it off the cushion to try and get a good run down the front straightaway, and they just came together. Just pretty bad timing on those 2 parts right there. But so far, man, I was thinking about this, Randy. But before tonight, we had 3 races. We only had 4 cautions, man. It's been a great season so far as yellows are concerned. 2 tonight. So hopefully we don't have any more. But so far this year, man, compared to last year, we've had a lot of green flag runs.
Yeah, it definitely has been. It's been a great change of pace coming into this year. I will say, I think as far as tracks goes, it really seems like the track is really single filed out and almost rubbered up there against the top groove of the racetrack. And because of that, I think we're going to be seeing a lot of those Hail Mary passes. I wouldn't be surprised if we get a 3rd caution on the night.
Yeah, that seems like the only way you're going to be able to pass, unless, if you're rolling the bottom and a couple guys get bottled up on the top and get together, hit the wall or something, you might be able to make a pass on a restart or something. But as David Heilemann's been showing us, the only way you're going to be able to get by some of these guys is a big slider, especially as you get farther towards the front with some faster guys. So will we see Lewis Hewitt maybe throw a slider on the restart? That's probably going to be his best chance to take the lead away from Alex Bergeron.
He's going to have to actually nail this restart and, like you said, get it down to the bottom and throw something on Bergeron, maybe even a bit of a Hail Mary. No one's been able to do it for the most of this season, but let's see if it can happen. Alex Bergeron gets back on out of the exit of turn 4. Once again, Hewitt, not a good restart. He's going to have to hold on a second, as Elby's going to want to take advantage.
Yeah, Elby's all over him. Will he look for the slider down to the 3 and 4? He's got to make quick work of him. Only 14 laps to go. Elby's got to get going, got to get on the wheel if he wants to try and win this thing. James Eden's hot on his heel, his teammate right there in the 4th spot. 5th still held down by the 49 of David Heilemann.
David Heilman trying to work his way forward. He's gotten his way around Joel Berkeley and is holding on to that 5th spot. Joel runs in 6th, but for the most part, everyone's single filed out. I think the first car on the bottom is going to be that 57 of Anthony LaPresto. He runs in 9th, and he's working on the 2 of Hauser.
Wow, a close call for your second place runner. Lewis Hewitt was all over Alex Bergeron right there in 1 and 2, and Hewitt tagged the wall and falls back about 5 car lengths and now into the clutches of Adam Elby. Back up front, we'll see if Elby tries to put a move on here in the next couple of laps here. Elby's as close as he's been all race long. He needs to make the move, Randy, or else he's going to run out of time.
He definitely does, but the question is, does he think Lewis Hewitt out in front of them could be quicker than Bergeron? Because if he thinks so, you may want to let Lewis Hewitt just sort of work out there and try to reel Alex in. Last trip around the racetrack, Alex opened up 2:10, so Lewis maybe not having the pace after hitting the wall. LB runs the bottom, going to throw the slider on Lewis, going to chop the nose off, a little bit of contact between them, and Hewitt's going to take that 2nd spot back. Now can Edens make something of this?
Yeah, that was about as close as it gets right there. Those 2 barely hooked bumpers right there, and they didn't even lose any speed when they did that. Elby going to try and track him back down. What does James Edens do right now? Remember, Randy, the 3rd place spot is the last one that pays money here in these races. So does James Edens put a move on his teammate here for a little bit of cash, or does he hold it back right here just trying to play it safe?
Well, we might have to wait and see, as it's Adam Elby, who's definitely not comfortable. Heilman, big move on the bottom on James Edens. He's just about going to have that spot. Edens, great run. He's going to get to Adam Elby as well, so Edens is almost going to make it 2 cars in 1 move. What a slide job from James Edens.
Yeah, Elby's going to try and turn it back to the inside. Actually, Elby will run the bottom. The 52 car's going to have a run on the outside. We'll see if James Edens can get back up to Lewis Hewitt. We're coming down to 6 laps to go. It's been the Edens and Bergeron show all season long. Edens needs to catch up to Lewis Hewitt to maintain that point gap. Little bit of a mistake right there off of turn 2 for Edens. He goes to the bottom, runs the slider line. He's going to lose a little bit of ground to Lewis Hewitt for the 2nd spot.
David Heilman doesn't get a great exit off of 4. He ran the slider line as well, and he's going to get freight trained by both LB as well as Berkeley as they got into turn number 1. 5 laps to go, though, for your race leader of Alex Bergeron. He is clear by 2.6 seconds, putting on an absolute clinic tonight, and we're going to get a caution, and we're going to get a late race restart.
Yeah, we're going to have maybe 1 lap to go when we go back green. I'm not sure what happened in the back of the field.
Tim Ryan again.
Wow, Tim Ryan just having an absolutely terrible night. Just to add to his season that he's had so far here. So Ryan, it looks like he's actually going to go a lap down as Bergeron was able to get by him when he was stopped on the racetrack. So Tim Ryan, man, as he gets contact there, wow, gets absolutely drilled by Justin Thomas, knocks the hood off, knocks the nose wing off. So that might be the end of the night there for the 98 of Tim Ryan.
Vinny Sansoni got into, oh, actually, no, I take that back. He did get drilled by Thomas afterwards. Sorry about that. But once again, Tim Ryan just straight is almost similar to the first spin we saw him have, Chase. I mean, he just got loose up top on the cushion all by himself and just came down the racetrack. So really unfortunate for Tim. Something for those Altus cars, just not firing on all cylinders as far as this season. I mean, that's 4 races, and I think his best finish of the year is about 9th, 10th.
Yeah, Tim Ryan definitely not following up on his championship last year, but man, this late race restart could be good. I think we might have a green-white checkered if I'm not mistaken here. Lewis Hewitt will be 2nd. James Edens right now in the 3rd spot. If Edens comes home 2nd once again here tonight, my goodness, it is like just a dogfight between him and Bergeron in the points and in the races every single week. It seems like besides one, Edens has been on the podium, and man, these guys are just going to keep duking it out all year long, it seems like.
It's going to be a 1-lap restart here as we're going to be going green on lap number 30. Tim Ryan is going to have to cycle to the tail end of the field as the only car 1 lap down. But out in front, it's going to be the entire field nose to tail. Lewis Hewitt has been lollygagging on the restarts a little bit. He has to time this perfect. We've not seen anyone be able to time the restarts on Bergeron for these late race restarts all season long. Can he make it happen here? Pace truck for the final time tonight will pull off on towards pit road, and Bergeron, will he get the jump that he needs? Hewitt doesn't get the jump that he needs. Edens looks quick though for 3rd. He's going to go down to the bottom on Lewis Hewitt. Slide job for that 2nd spot. Going to take it for now. The 3 of Lewis Hewitt drives it back down to the bottom. Heilman is sitting there lurking as well. He's going to throw the slider line on both of them. Through corners number 3 and 4. Bergeron will hold on for the win. Hewitt takes 2nd, and does Heilman steal 3rd?
He got him, yep. They made some contact there in the final corner. It looked like James Edens, David Heilman got together. Or actually, Edens got up on the cushion right there and got sideways, and Heilman able to drive right by him. So Edens does not end up on the podium tonight. And Alex Bergeron, once again, will extend his point lead and another victory for that Max McLaughlin Racing number 12 car. Bergeron just putting on an absolute clinic so far this season.
Absolutely fantastic season this year for Alex. 3 wins at Volusia, Lima Land, and now at Eldora, and a second place at Knoxville. That 12 car has been on rails all season long, except for these points at the end of the race when he loosens it up a little bit and does a bit of celebrating. Let's take a peek, though, at your post-race results here tonight. Alex Bergeron with another dominating performance, quick time in qualifying, takes his heat race victory and absolutely dominates the entire field in the main event. Remember, he was out to nearly a 3-second gap at one point. Lewis Hewitt comes home in second with David Heileman. Another last lap pass for $100 for him. He comes home in third with James Eden's fourth and Adam Elby rounding out your top 5. Joel Berkeley will come home in the 6th position. Austin Selman, greatest night of racing for him thus far this season. I believe 15th up to 7. No, I take that back. I believe he got a 3rd in the season opener. Cole Cabray in 8th. Britton Roxbury 9th, and Dylan Hauser will round out your top 10 with Nick Cooper, Matt McKinney, Anthony Lepresto, Alex Smulders, Nelson Webster, Cole Newhoffen, Justin Thomas, Vinny Sansone, Blade Witt, and defending series champion Tim Ryan will round out the 20-car field. Do not go away. Post-race coverage will be coming at you in just a couple of moments.
Race fans, you wanted the best? You've got them. Live on DirtVision.com. Presented by Dryden. The World of Outlaws. NOS Energy Drink Sprint Cars. The World of Outlaws. Morton Buildings Late Models. Knoxville Raceway and the Knoxville Nationals. And the Dirt Cars Summer Nationals are all available live. Sprint car and late model fast passes are available now for just $39 a month, with single event subscriptions available as well. From Volusia to Charlotte, Fairbury to Lernerville, Eldora to Macon, and everywhere in between. Dirt Vision has you covered all season long. Every race, live, anywhere, anytime. Don't be left in the dust. Sign up for Dirt Vision today.
Welcome back here to the iRacing Esports Network as post-race coverage picks up here after the 4th round of the World of Outlaws NOS Energy Drink Sprint Car Championship Series that the 12 car of Alex Bergeron once again absolutely put on a clinic. We have that driver stood by with us of the number 12 machine, and Alex, I mean, this is starting to become a pretty common thing. I think, is it the money and the points and the prize money up for grabs, or do you just like talking to me at the end of every Monday night?
I mean, you just got to go fast, you know. That's pretty much what it is.
Well, you avoided saying that I was the reason you were dealing well, but we'll ignore that, I think.
And it's always fun talking to you and you guys. Absolutely. RaceSpot is doing an absolutely awesome job every week.
Well, Alex, man, that was a pretty dominating performance tonight. We really haven't seen that out of you since Volusia. It seems like where you pulled out to a big lead like that. How key were the restarts there? I mean, that's the most restarts we've had so far this year. How key was it to get a good jump on Lewis there?
Oh, it's very important. It was very important, I should say. You know, I was trying to change the single file restart to go a bit lower, so I can grab the moisture down the straightaway, so I could get a bit more advantage there on these guys. It worked out pretty good. Last restart though, with 1 lap to go, I was very nerve-wracking. I know Lewis was gonna try to pass me or something, and I tried to run the ball and turn forward, block a slot jobs, and it was very good. I think we had a good dominant car tonight. We won all 3 events we had tonight, and that's all good points for the end of the season.
Next week, Alex, we go to the first repeat track on the schedule. We head to Volusia for the 5th race, and that's going to take us to the half point in the championship. How different is it going back to Volusia, where every track we've done thus far has been the first time we've seen these tracks run at this level of competition? How does Volusia change knowing that you guys ran it just a few weeks back?
It's just going to depend on the weather, and how the track is. I know who's going to be up front for sure. You know, we've seen Chase Cabrez and Adam Elbies and all these guys being up front. You know, it's tough competition up there, and you know, I know these guys going to be up front. And just got to have a good qualifying effort and just hope for the best there in the future. You know, just got to run your line and be patient and you know, get good points. You know, just can't win every week. You know, it's tough to win in this level, and you know, just got to have a good result. You know, good top fives every week, and just get good points for a championship, because you know, that's what matters. You know, we get per race, you know, winnings and everything, you know, but you know, to get the championship is something very, very cool. You know, last year we end up four points out of the, you know, the winner, so the winning spot. So you know, it's this year it's going to be we'll try to get it this year.
Thanks for joining us, Alex, and congratulations on another dominant night of racing. You say you can't win them all, but I'd say 3 out of 4 ain't bad. Before we let you go, who gets it done for that black and yellow number 12?
Well, you know, first off, you know, thanks to Damien BR. We work hard. It was a tough week. You know, this track is very tough, but you know, me and Jason Nygaard, we've been working very hard, and it paid off in the end. So gotta thank him, and can't thank him enough for that. We put in a lot of hours into this, and it worked out. So thanks to everybody watching, you know, all the fans out there, my girlfriend for watching, supporting me as always every day. It means a lot. And my dad for watching, Coleman Gulick, Paul Kinney, you know, all my partners, Niobe.com, Sign Shop at Kinney's, BK Designs, Max McLaughlin Racing, and Meyer Inc., and you guys for broadcasting, and Wall of Outlaws and iRacing for bringing this series up. It's a pleasure to be in the series.
There he goes, your race winner tonight, the driver, the number 12, Alex Bergeron, makes it 3 out of 4 in this championship thus far. Second place finisher of tonight is actually going to go to Lewis Hewitt. And Lewis, you started in that second spot, but I think you were all over the place, sort of third at one point, fourth, fifth, sixth, trading spots with the likes of Heileman, Edens, Elby, and Berkeley. Talk me through that fight for second. There was really 5 of you fighting for it.
No, I was second for the whole race, actually. I think LB slid me once, and I took that back, and then from there on out, it was second the whole way. It was just not the best drive for me, and I made a few mistakes and just had nothing for Alex.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, man. It really seemed like there was that one run when you were running some really good laps there, actually faster than Alex, and then you made that one mistake right there. It just seemed like the top was so tricky tonight to run really consistent right there, and that's kind of what bit you and what won Alex the race, was just being super consistent up there on the top of the racetrack, right?
Yeah, after that, I think it was after the first caution there, I was really putting some laps together, and I felt like I was just starting to catch up to him, and then into 1 and 2, I let it step over the cushion, and he was gone, and I had nothing for him after that. I think I got into my head a bit there, and yeah, just couldn't catch him.
The thing for you, Lewis, I mean, we have all you guys that are trying to chase Alex, who's kind of a solo effort in that Alex Bergeron racing machine, but it's, you know, it's you and your teammate Joel in the TTL cars, and you have a pair of the Swindell Speed Lab Esports machines with Edens and LB constantly charging at Alex, and then you have David Heileman, of course, in the Casey Kane racing car, all trying to fight with that 12 every single week. When are you guys eventually just going to, like, join forces and just take it to Alex all as one super team?
I think we might have to do that. It's getting to the point where he's just driving away from us, and we need to do something about it.
Thanks for joining us, Lewis, and Lewis, excuse me, as I combine your first and last name there, as I'm very articulate. Okay. But congratulations on the second place finish, and who gets it done for what will likely be next week, that TTL Casey Kane Racing Swindell Esports Speed Lab car?
Well, I'd like to thank all 3 of those, obviously, but I know also big thanks to TTL for all their support. You know, we've got a great team, and it's really good working with all of them, along with our supporters being Simworks, Tie Designs, Down Under Graphics. Yeah, and thank you to iRacing for running this.
There he goes. Lewis Hewitt comes away with the second spot here tonight, as David Heileman is going to come home in third. Me one. I'm all over the place tonight. Don't worry, Lewis. It's David Heileman, the driver of that number 49 Casey Kane Racing Sim Team machine. David, you do it once again. Last lap, he's still $100 away from James Edens.
Yeah, yeah. I wasn't sure how to feel about that last lap restart, whether I wanted to finish or not, but certainly didn't want another 4th place finish, especially because they're only paying the top 3 in each race now. But was able to get lucky. I thought Lewis was going to slide up, and I was just kind of going to set a pick and block Egan's crossover line, but then he hung the middle, and I was able to just stay off him, and then yeah, James just got a little bit sideways, but yeah, we were fast all race. Just everything was so nose to tail. We couldn't get by those speed lap guys, me and Joel behind me. So it was kind of frustrating, but we'll take a podium. But you know, it's hard to say week after week. You get top fives, and you're still losing points to Alex in the championship.
David, you're starting to become easily one of my favorite guys in the field, because you go out there and it seems like a couple of guys out there kind of settle for where they're at on the racetrack, and it seems to me that you don't care where you finish at. Obviously, you want to finish up front, but you're going for it. You're going for the win every single time. You're going for one spot. You're doing it for whatever it takes, and that's what I like to see, man. It seems like I'm just waiting for the one race where you start right up there on the front row or something, and you take it to Alex Bergeron and throw him a couple sliders and don't let him have it too easy.
Yeah, well, I've had it in the heat races the last 2 weeks, and just things haven't really gone our way. I think we were faster in both of them, but only late laps. You gotta be quick. But yeah, it's almost like we're almost halfway into the season, and it's almost desperate times call for desperate measures. The way the championship's playing out, at least.
We go back to Volusia for the second time this season in 7 days' time. David, you were good there for the season opener. You think you do even better than you did then?
Yeah, obviously we hope so. We were actually able to start on the front row the first time, but actually kind of went backwards. But yeah, it's just, I don't know, because Alex killed us last time there, and Eldora is probably my best track at the moment, and just to still lose points. This was kind of the race where I needed to gain points, and I don't know, it just didn't happen. But yeah, we'll just try to go get it next week.
Thanks for joining us, David, and congratulations once again on another podium finish here tonight. Before we let you go, who gets it done for that Casey Kane Racing Sim Team number 49?
Yeah, it's y'all guys back at KKR Sim Team, Apple Auto Parts, Wicked Energy Gum, Wicked Cushion, Matthew Henniger, and World of NOS Energy, World of Outlaws for putting this series on, and iRacing giving us the platform, and obviously RaceSpot for broadcasting it to all the Hylomaniacs out there.
There he goes. The Maniac David Heileman comes away with an extra $100 and a third place finish tonight. But as he said there, Chase, pretty much during that entire interview, you can tell he's frustrated that he's putting in these really good and competitive weeks, week in and week out, and still him and everyone else just losing points to Alex.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, man. He's not the only one that's frustrated right now. They're all waiting for Alex Bergeron to have that one bad night that everyone seems to have, unless you're Tim Ryan, that seems like it's every week. But, Bergeron, it's going to happen one of these weeks here, Randy. It just depends on how bad it's going to be. Is it going to be a bad night where he finishes 18th, or is it going to be a bad night where he finishes 5th? Because that would be a bad night at this point in the season for Alex Bergeron. So these guys are all fast, man. It's just he always burns a lap in qualifying, and he runs good 8 laps in his heat race and starts up front, man. So these guys got to try something different. They got to work harder on their setups for next week at Volusia and try and go after that 12 car.
One of the things to talk about as well, you mentioned last season, Chase, the heat racing has been absolutely fantastic all year long. We saw, I think, 2 different races, basically 3 wide for the race win in heat race 3 and 4. We saw that at Lima Land as well. For those who are kind of maybe tuning in and watching the highlights, go back and watch these broadcasts as well, because these heat races and the LCQs have been some of the best racing, I think, on the night.
Heck, we had a finish earlier on in the heat races that was literally a dead tie. 0.0003 wide across the line, 2 drivers that were separated by literally nothing. So, we had good racing in the B mains, the heat races. Obviously, the main event was pretty good as well. So, every single week, it's just been some of the best racing I've seen on iRacing.com in a long time. So, make sure you tune in next week for Volusia.
It's going to be a fantastic show at Volusia, but it's going to bring this one to an end. Thank you for tuning in here on the iRacing Esports Network. We got to shout out, of course, all of the sponsors. Thank you to NOS Energy and the World of Outlaws for making this championship possible, and of course, our partners at Dirt Vision, bringing all the coverage of this as well. We hope to see you in 7 days' time at Volusia. Can Alex Bergeron keep this momentum up and keep winning races, or will the likes of Hewitt, Heileman, Edens, Elby, or Berkeley, really the championship contenders, be able to make something of it and maybe start reining the points in? Have to tune in to find out next time. Bye-bye.